The Central Club.
What's going on, people? It's Colin Mish from the Central Club podcast. This episode is brought to you by Re-Inspire Printing and Weekend Defender. If you haven't already, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the club, and hit the bell button to be notified of future content. Today, we're on a remote interview with a very special guest. It's a different interview because we are both strict by time, but we could not turn down the opportunity to have the man who is being at the tip of everyone's tongues. If you remember a couple months back, that inspirational performance, you could say, against Ben Whittaker. He was the true underdog. He's gone through adversity in his life, and I'm just blessed to be able to speak to him for half an hour. It's the man, Liam Cameron. What's happening, mate?
I'm good, how are you? You good?
Yeah, mate, I'm good, mate. I'm good. I want to say thank you for doing this, first of all. Maybe give everyone a backdrop, but obviously, you know, when you come out of that fight, straight away, mate, I just reached out to you, and I just felt like listening to you, the way you speak and how like authentic you are about your life and what you go through. I just really wanted to speak to you, but like you said, since that you've had so many people, I can imagine, reach out to you. What's that been like?
So, I'm getting them every day now. At beginning, I didn't get odd ones here and there when I fought. So when I first got my followers, I started accepting podcast people. So what people what do this kind of work. So I accepted a lot of people, and they're constantly on you for interviews, which I've done a load. You know what I mean? I've done might be one or two every week since my fight, and I've been Scotland. I've been asked to Wales, like were yours, but I've got. It's hard for me because I'm not quite used to this thing. So I'm just the old Liam. I don't like to do too much. I've told when I have to, but at the minute it's been crazy. It's like I'm constantly talking about the same stuff. Do you know what I mean? It's no disrespect. I promise you I'd do it, and I'm here and I'm doing it. This is my last one for ages.
Well, listen, right, I totally get it, because even like looking at your old posts and what you put up the other day about if I ever got to tell my story on James English's podcast, I know I've done the right thing, and it you know, you wear your heart on your sleeve, mate, and you're right, it must be a whirlwind, mate. Like, you had like 1,000 followers, I think you was, and you've shot up to over 30,000 now. You've got endorsements and all this. In a way, you've always been boxing. You know, you are a successful boxer, very talented, but it's as if this Cinderella story has really come about in the last couple of months. Would you agree as well, or?
Yeah, I'm just the same person. Look, this has all been when we're at 5, we're 6 weeks ago. So 6 weeks ago, I had 1,750 followers. I posted it other day online. I like been chipping away, believing in myself, begging for this day to come where my story's been 2018. 2018, where that was where rock bottom happened, and couldn't get interviews. No one wanted to interview me. The boxing people washed their hands of me, which that's life. It's not personal. Then when I come back probably 13 months ago, and yeah, it's been mad since.
Yeah, no, it's a credit to you, of course, mate, for bouncing back. For the people who don't know, you lost your daughter, which, you know, again, I'm terribly sorry to hear that, mate. And you've had your kind of ups and downs as well with drug use. You had failed drug tests and stuff like that. You know, what was the turning point for you that made you think, like, you know, I want to bounce back and and give it another crack?
Well, when Tegan died, I made a promise, a stupid promise, what I didn't back up. I said, look, did this big Instagram post. I'm going to come back to you. I'm going to fight again. Probably writ that message drunk. Didn't follow up on it. Still doing the same stuff. And I thought, I'm a right let down here. She's going to be looking down on me thinking, what a letdown. Obviously, a family don't do that, but that's what you think at the time. I thought these months are going past here. I'm unbanned here and I'm still drinking and doing what I'm doing. I said I was coming back. I made a promise. And the step where is I did a 10-minute run on treadmill. And I keep telling this story. I did a 10-minute run and I was absolutely knackered. Couldn't do no more. And I thought, wow, I've definitely come unfit here. And I weighed like 128 kilo, massive. And people said to me, now I wish I could be like you, Liam, turning your life around. And I can't run though. And I said to him, I couldn't run 10 minutes and I was washed. I couldn't do another minute. I couldn't do another 10 seconds. And yeah, it started with that run really.
Yeah, it's really good to hear that from you, because I think people who struggle with fitness or struggle with losing weight or just getting up and doing something proactive, they feel like, again, the Tyson Fury story is an inspiration. So is yours, Liam. And people would think, yeah, but they're boxers. They had it anyway. They were fit before. So, it's muscle memory and this and that. And I think that's untrue, because I think we were all fit at one stage when we started to lose our weight. But I think that's what's so important with you is I think people can really see the human side of how genuine you were, really at rock bottom, to be able to turn it around. It's a massive inspiration.
Well, with my drinking habit and doing other stuff, I actually developed stage 2 blood pressure. I had blood pressure and an 80-year-old man, they told me. I had to go on tablets and everything. They didn't even want to give them me because old people have to have these tablets. And it were that bad. They were going to have to shot me out at one stage. And yeah, so muscle memory and stuff. I had to start from nothing again. There were no muscle memory. I have to show you that helped me through me running. My body was like, who could I say? Homer Simpson.
Well, I've seen the one video of you in the garden where you're sparring. I know it was a friend or a family.
Slow as out. I was punching like that, and this one was coming from Africa.
Mate, I couldn't believe it when I was looking at it. I was like, is that actually you? How what at your lowest?
I didn't actually show myself at my worst, believe it or not, so that embarrassed. So them videos of me like lost a bit of weight, thinking, oh, I'm looking a bit better than I were now, so I got a bit of confidence then showing them videos and showing me part self. But really, you wouldn't have seen me before how fat I were.
Yeah, you felt like, what, I could post this actually, and then even
Post it a bit. It's not as bad, but it's still terrible. But it's better to where I've come from.
yeah. And where was you at your lowest, would you say, in terms of drinking, taking drugs? Can you paint us a picture, maybe?
So I didn't really drink when I was boxing. Didn't really drink after fights. At me saying what I used to drink, there used to be this drink called Bottle Lamborghini, what we used to have.
Yeah.
Used to give me a cherry mouth, yeah. And I used to have a bottle of one of them, and that used to get me pissed. And that was that's what I drunk, because I can't stand alcohol, but I could suck that. Do you know what I mean?
What was it? The cherry one, cherry Lamborghini.
Cherry Lamborghini. So that was really my first drink. That, to be fair, But then what I were doing is it just snowballs, and you don't know how much you're digging. You've got your shovel with alcohol and drugs, and you're digging away, and you can't see yourself digging. Then you end up in a 6-foot grave, right? You know him like that.
Yeah, it does. It does develop very quickly, don't it, mate? And you're lucky to tell the tale, really, mate. Um, how did the how what was the process like then from getting fit again, trying to get back into boxing? How did that connection get made? Like, did you get a phone call? Did you have to prove that you was on the right track? How does that work?
So what happened is I started running. I started becoming a good runner. We're doing half the marathons every other day. Believe it or not, I went from that to that extreme. Because I'm an obsessive person. I've got very bad OCD where I get obsessed with stuff and latched on. So I was doing these half marathons every other day. And I put making a comeback. So I must have said this 50 times. But that's me battling with myself. I'm making a comeback. I'm going to do it. I'd have 2 weeks in gym I'd pack in. And people have seen this. And one of the guys at gym said, look, they're all laughing at you at gym. Making another comeback. He'll not lose his weight. And it was true. What they said was the track record of what I was doing. I thought, right then, they had seen how far I've come this time. I'm gonna go at gym. I'm gonna go to gym. I'm gonna watch sparring. Ended up going to gym, watch sparring, and the trainers at gym, Pierce Goodger and Grant Smith, went, look, do you want to start boxing properly then? You can join here. Come, we'll start you back training Tuesday. And I said, yeah. And I thought, I don't really want this. I don't really want to have that pressure. I thought, I'm not gonna turn up Tuesday. Got text Monday, see you at so-and-so time. And I thought, getting a bit close here. What am I going to do? Am I going to bail out or am I going to go? And I ended up going. And that was the time where I just kept on it. It's not, people are just looking at the beginning bit and the end bit and thinking,
They're not seeing that.
That looks too hard. I can tell you it weren't really that hard. The hard bit is just going to the gym. Once you're in there, you ask anyone what does fitness or depressed or anything, you struggle a bit to go, but once you've done it, you're like, yes, I'm glad I've done that. You get a bit chatterier, your mood picks up. That's what it was for me. Every time I trained, felt better. But because with me boxing, I had to have little goals. So I just set myself this mad goal. I put my friend onto it. He didn't really want to do it. I said to him, look, me and you are going to run 100 miles to Manchester and back. My mate is mad. He'll do it. Do you know what I mean? He's like one of them, like, go on then, let's do it. We had no training really. We did these half marathons every other day. But we were running slow. So we did this 100 marathon. So the charity where I was going to do it, because we had no money at the time. I had 0 pence. And we got us backpacks, got an American bike, and about 30 flapjacks, drinks, and that. So this bag were heavy as hell. So we've set off running, buzzing. So we've come out Manchester. It's absolutely lagging it down. You couldn't see from your face to your hands. And the last 10 mile destroyed us. It was bang on out there. The last 10 mile there destroyed us. So we're setting up camp with this what do you call it? His feet are blisters. I took my sock off. Didn't even know. I thought, oh, my feet's hurting. Took my sock off. Got a blister that big full of water. I'm like, wow, this is bad, this. So we set up camp on this golf course. We cooked chicken on this barbecue we bought from shop, and all we could taste was firelighter fluid in this chicken. Because I'm lighting fire for barbecue, come like. And my mate's morning, we listen, we need a hotel for night. You've got to book this hotel. So we stopped there. We set off back. I'm telling you, from our Sheffield town to my house, it's probably 2 miles. I crawled. It took me hours. Crawled. I had no left. Crawled from town to my house, and I was shivering. I couldn't help it. Went straight to sleep. And yeah, we raised £1,300, £1,400 for a bench to put to Fatiguen's bench, and it got fitted yesterday. So we're around a year time. It got fitted yesterday. I posted a picture on.
Wow, that's beautiful, mate. That's amazing, honestly. And
I didn't want people to think, oh, he's done me a GoFundMe page and he's boxed Whittaker and he's boxed all these people. That were before I even really had a fight. Yeah, that was before I had a fight. We set this GoFundMe. I thought, oh, it'd be a nice gesture to my girlfriend and her family. It'd be something I could do for Tiga, and it was a little gold.
no, fair play, mate. You're in your total rights to do that. Do you know what I mean? But I can see that you're one of those who, you know, you don't want to come across like I don't know, a big-headed person or a smart ass, like, you know, and like I get that, and I think people see that. You'll always get people who chat shit, but yeah, you know why you've done it, and you did it for the right reasons, mate. Did you at your lowest again? Then, like them times you said you didn't even have no money. How was you getting by during the time you wasn't boxing? Like, what was you doing for money?
For me to describe it, I was slipping out of reality. So when I would drink and taking all sorts of stuff, I was slipping out of real world. I wanted to be in that world all the time. So I was happier then doing that. I think my mind was just so in pain. I was in pain. It's mad to think now, because looking back, I let myself go. My mind was tortured. I dear crying in my head constantly, like ringing and ringing and ringing. I still get it odd time now. If my kid's upstairs, I'll hear a choking noise, and I'll think, is he choking upstairs? Go and check on him. Have a check on him. If my girlfriend's around him, she goes, he's not choking. So I get little daft stuff like that. Might be just me, who I am, just like that. But yeah, that was.
It must be, it must be so traumatic, mate. Like, and
Yeah, and the thing is, I weren't in a mental state. I were angry at everyone. I were angry at a lot of people. The high powers in boxing, I thought they could have helped me. I'm looking back when I'm thinking, why did I think like that? Because they don't even know me. They're not bothered about me. So it was just, I would just do anything.
Do you ever blame yourself for what happened with Tegan?
Yeah, because and no, I did not blame myself, but I have a few little regrets what happened, because when she died that morning, so what happened is I had a couple of weeks spurts in gym, then I pack in, have a week or two in gym, pack in. So this 2 week I'll go in the gym every day. I had my boxing kit on. It were Friday. So I ended up going to the pub for some daft reason. Because I never planned to have a drink. When I woke up, worst thing I want to do is have a drink. When it gets to that time, you just happen and stuff. So I'm stronger. I'm gonna go and see my mate. I had my boxing kit on. I'm gonna see my friend. Ended up drinking and that, stopping at his house. Ended up falling asleep on his settee. So 9 o'clock comes in the morning. I thought, oh my God, she's gonna kill me. Tanya, she's gonna absolutely kill me. And I thought, I've got to brace it, I've got to go back home. So as I've walked round the corner, now you've got a field of view, I've seen loads of police cars and loads of people outside. So I'm thinking, this is dodgy, this Dartmoor's Road. So I asked one of the neighbours down the road, what's happened? Is that police at mine? And they went, yeah. So I thought, what's that? What have I done here? So as I'm walking up, everyone's crying. I look at my girlfriend and she goes, she's gone. She's gone in hysterics. What do you mean she's died? So I'm looking at kids who there is, thinking, where they're here. Going, who's gone? What do you know? Because it's confusion. Who's gone? Tegan's died. She's been hit by a car. And like, I just went into a trance, like, like, fighter kicks in with me. I don't like to cry or stuff like that. Don't know why. I just don't like to do it. So I'm trying to be alright. I'm going, what do you mean? I'm trying to explain. But it weren't registering. I was like kicking about and stuff. I ripped my boxing boots off and I threw them over fence and stuff. You don't know why I did it, but I did it. And it was just like a big blur. And it was like, I'm going, are you sure? Are you sure? And like, my girlfriend were too alright. Not, she were hysterics, but like, my thinking process would have thought
She'd be worse.
Me for it, or
Yeah.
like kicking off or smashing everything up. She's a bit feisty like that. So she went, it might not be true. Well, we're convincing it couldn't be true, so we have to go in car, police area, and we have to go to this place an hour away. Because when it were first day of lockdown, she went out with her boyfriend and they had a good time in Skegness it were. So that's where we had to go around that area to this hospital. Well, I'm sure it was a morgue.
Was that where it happened then, was it?
Yeah, we're in Skegness because it was first day out in lockdown, so she went out to enjoy herself. So went to this morgue place, didn't know it were a morgue really, till obviously after. Then obviously I had to support Tanya to see Tegan. Like, it were horrible. It were absolutely horrible. With them, that view, what we saw as a family. And I weren't sad for me as well. I was sad looking at her nan, going to look at a grandchild's body. And I was watching them go in and coming out in hysterics. And I can never forget that day, the pain on people's face, what it were horrible. And Tanya come on that day and just went in Tegan's bedroom. And that's been a big battle. It's still not right now. She's still not right now. Her head hasn't been right for a long time. Do you know what I mean? But it's got better for her. So yeah, so all this has gone off, and that my promise to come back for her. I said probably a drunken text. Well, it was Facebook. Obviously, she passed away, but I put it on a wall. And yeah, that's what got me back into it. And like people, when like Tegan died, people were sending bottles of gin on doorstep, like for Tegan. I didn't understand it, like or drink. I'd look on front and I think they must honestly the friends what she had has been unbelievable to her, even to this day. There'd be all flowers all over everywhere. I'd put them in the house, and there'd be a bottle of gin. I'd put it in. and I'd be supping that. And yeah, it weren't good. Tanya weren't a big drinker, to be fair. It were me. It were me.
Mate, honestly, for you to bounce back from such a traumatic thing, I take my hat off to you, mate. You should be proud of yourself.
People said to me, "You've had I don't want to say a bad life, or well, let's say a roller coaster one. It's just normal to me, like
Yeah.
it's normal. Like if you have a big problem and you bounce back, you find a way. That's what I don't know if I've been brought up like that, or we all find a way, and I put it onto people. I put it onto, oh, we've got to bounce back. We've got to gobble. There's a problem. How we're going to get through it?
Yeah. Well, you've certainly done it. Well, you're certainly doing it. I just want to, before we go, because I know we both got time to shoot. But the Whittaker fight, mate, I don't think it should have been a draw. How do you feel on the outcome, and what's your plans next?
It shouldn't have been a draw. Now, if it were me, what got, if I did a backflip on ropes, I would have lost that fight. It's a big money, man. You won't believe how much money is involved with someone like an Olympic silver medalist. He's sponsored by Allsouls. They have to do everything in their power to keep him unbeaten. Now, a draw for him is very lucky because,
Well, it's a win for him, isn't it?
yeah, but like he's in a bad position now because he needs that rematch. He's forever going to be called what they're calling him. And I ain't got no personal to him. He's just another bike to me. It's probably my first ever rival I've had in boxing. He's the only person where this has happened, like bit of rivalry. So I'm being told it's definitely going to happen. So I take my hat off to him if he does have the rematch.
Do you feel any type of animosity after the things you were saying to you coming up to the fight, or is it all just been left in the ring?
All it shows me is what money can do to people, and I've seen Ben Whittaker when he were on Twitter. Grateful that his sponsor bought him these boxing boots years ago. It's all there to be watched. You can see it. Got some boots years and years ago. So happy for my sponsor this that. So if you've come from hard backgrounds and stuff, like he was saying he has, and now all of a sudden you're walking like a Louis V poster and you're showing your Rolexes off and saying you're pretty. To me, that's fake. Very fake to me. I can't say never, but the person who I am, you'll never see me with a Rolex on because I just think it's a person. You're trying to show you a person of power. With he's got a Rolex, he must have a few quid in. I'm not bothered about anything like that, man. Honestly, I think I will pay Louis V prices. No way, no matter how rich I am. Just stupid.
Yeah. Well, what you could do with that money. And you can have all the money in the world and say, I've got money to spare to buy a Rolex. But still, the good things you could do with the money for a Rolex, I'm exactly the same as you, mate. Exactly the same. And I think...
I'm not saying look, I'm not going to... I know 99.9% chance I'll never, ever buy one. But you just never know, do you? I might get gifted.
You might get gifted one.
Yeah, you just never know. If I beat him, you could probably get gifted one. So I don't want people to come back and say, he said he'd never wear it. I've never paid for one, put it one way.
Well, that's it. Just knock him out, get one gifted and say, look, I've got a Rollie, but I got it for knocking you off.
I only started Instagram for me boxing Never had it before.
And now you've got a hairline.
Yep, got my hairline covered up. So yeah, I've had some crazy sponsorship. Warlord here, these are crazy what they've offered me as a sponsorship deal. People won't believe me if I tell them, but yeah. So,
well, I could see you was very grateful for the sponsorship of Warlord. I could see that on your socials. How you clearly full of gratitude. You know.
and the crazy thing is, they were more excited to sponsor me as well. So I'm thinking, because you don't see it when it's yourself, when people get excited to meet you, because I'm thinking, I've been here for 34 years, whatever it is, and someone gets excited to meet you, or they want you to sign your glove, and I think, it's crazy, isn't it?
But Liam, this is what you need to understand, I think, and it's something that I'm only coming to terms with now, is you've been the same Liam all along. You have been a boxer for many, many years, but the adversity that you have gone through, your ups and downs, is what's made you the person you are now. You know, you've got to go through this.
Apart, obviously, the death and stuff. You give boxing, you give all your money to.
Of course.
But everything other than that, what's happened in my life, and I swear to God, I wouldn't change it for the world. I wouldn't. I'm a better person. I don't drink. In January, it's been 2 years. So I'm a lot better person. My feet's on the floor. I had a bad 3-4 years out of my life. If I get to 60, 70, I want to get to about 90, but I ain't done bad, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, 100%, mate. Honestly, man, it's been a pleasure speaking to you. And you know, in the future, when you got a bit more time on your hands, it'd be nice to bring you to the studio when you've achieved a lot more. I feel like you've got a lot more to give now. What do you say? What's your future plans here?
All I can do is train 100%, and give 100%. Win, lose, or draw. That's all I can do. And it's been working for me.
What we do with all our guests, Lee, is we ask them to, well, two things I want to ask, if you don't mind, in the next minute. First one, can you leave him, put a message out there to Ben Whittaker for the next fight?
Give a message to Ben Whittaker. I'm gonna say to him, he's won now at hide and seek. I can't find him anywhere. We're gonna have to start again. I'm gonna have to hide. Now, when you play hide and seek as a kid and you just can't find that one kid who you're trying to find, I just can't find him. He's too good at that game.
Fair dues. And then what we say to all our guests is if they could just leave us out for the people with a positive message, whether it's someone who's gone through a grievance, whether it's someone who's gone through addiction, struggling to get in the gym. Leave us with a message, mate.
So I used to get these bullshit comments, what I used to say. There's light at the end of the tunnel. Every grey cloud has a silver lining. What else is there? There's loads more of it.
Yeah.
It's just the process. I used to think, bullshit, not going to happen for me. If you can control drink and drugs when you've been on drink and drugs, I'm telling you now, you can master anything, whether it's your work, sports, and you're just going to keep progressing and progressing.
Liam, thank you very much, mate. Stay central.
The Central Club.